So just to start, Sonny, Usopp has grown a ton as a character over the series. What's been your favorite part of playing him over the years?
Well, I think Ian knows my prepared answer for this, but I'll go ahead and say it anyway. Um, this character, I thought it was just comic relief when I started playing him. And then as it progressed, I mean, he just gets more and more intense and more emotional and more self-reflective. It's there's very few opportunities that actor has to grow with a character like this. And One Piece offers that opportunity because they're all of the characters are so fleshed out and developed so well. It's a show that we never get bored of playing.
I don't
Awesome.
think Brook is fleshed out.
I
I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. It's right there.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is why we cast as Brooke.
So good. Now, I gotta be a bit biased. Ian, Brooke is my favorite crew member since I
thank
was
you.
younger.
He's
So
my favorite too.
Oh, that's
yeah,
really
he's just,
nice. He's
he's
my.
just
I
so
love him.
fun. And I was stoked to see him get some really great moments in the film. What was your favorite scene to play Brooke for in the film?
There's a funny moment when we are stuck, and Brooke makes a joke, and I just really like that moment because it is one that me and the dub director Anthony Bowling spent extra time massaging and making sure it was perfect. It was something that the first take of it, we went, okay, that's pretty funny. We can do better than that. And then we spent our time on it, and to hear the crowd's reaction at the theater was wonderful.
I think we've had a lot of really incredible directors on One Piece, but I think Anthony nails the comedy better than anybody. Like
Mhm.
he's just a comedic genius, honestly.
And he's very passionate about the show too.
He is.
He reads the manga, he watches all the episodes, he analyzes them, breaks them down. He'll tell you things about your character, and you go, yeah, I think you're right.
That's so cool. And Brina, Chopper is probably the most visually recognizable character from the series. What's the experience of playing such an iconic character been like?
I mean, it is such an honor, truly. I was telling them earlier, like, I have friends who don't even watch One Piece, but they're artists and they love the character of Chopper. Like, they'll just have random Chopper, toys and, prints and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, you watch One Piece? And they're like, no, I just really like that character because it's so beautifully designed. It's so brilliant and it's so eye-catching. I the couple of times that I've been lucky enough to go to Japan is like the best because there's just Chopper everywhere. Chopper in all these different costumes, cosplaying as different characters from different anime. It's so much fun. Yeah, it's kind of it's hard to believe that I even voiced that character. Yeah.
That's not that hard to believe.
You do it so well.
Thank you.
You do my favorite voice on the show, and it's also my favorite design character. Almost of anything, but Popeye and in Chopper, they're right neck and
That's
neck.
pretty
They're
incredible.
incredibly designed characters.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
sound exactly like Popeye.
Very close.
Yeah, I read that Bria's also the new English voice for Popeye. So,
Yeah,
what a
weird.
coincidence.
Olive oil is going to be Chris Pratt.
Oh man.
Perfect.
He'd be great.
Sonny, Usopp gets a really cool team up later towards the end of the film. What was it like to record that really big moment?
Well, it's first of all very surprising to see him face his daddy issues that way. But it was very powerful, and I felt really good for Usopp. I was like, "This is way to go, man! This is good. I'm glad this is happening for you."
Yeah, and the little foreshadowing where he says, "Oh, my dad left, but you stayed." That was a really fun little nod too.
Mm-hmm.
And Ian, Brooke has had some really amazing moments in the show, from his brilliant backstory to all the seeds laid early to kind of establish him. So, what's been your favorite part about voicing his character from Thriller Bark to now?
Well, a few things. First of all, he's absolutely my happy place. I've had some terrible, terrible days where then I had to like, they were like, okay, well, you got to go in for some One Piece. And I went, okay. And then it ended up being a great day. It's such a joyous experience to be Brook. My job as the morale member of the crew is just to make everybody laugh and have a good time. So the nuts and bolts of my actual job as an actor is to make the engineer and director laugh as hard as possible. And so that is such a privilege and a joy that's my job. I'm super proud of how Brook has evolved from such he was a traumatized, lonely person who had lost a lot of his self-confidence, and then for him through Whole Cake and all these big moments, he was actually able to really come into his own, and to go on that journey with him has been amazing. We've been talking about how with these characters, after 600-700 episodes of being them, eventually they start to exist outside of you. That's just a voice that is that informs all of your reads. It becomes something where if you do a line and it doesn't sound exactly right to you because you know the character so well, you innately know how they would say it. And to get to share myself with such a joyous human being or skeleton that then whose whole job and life goal is to help out and to make other people happy, I think it's rubbed off on me. I think it's a deep honor. It's a deep honor.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. And Brina, Chopper makes some really great noises while attacking, like the hi-yas and everything. How fun is it to let loose with those fighting sounds?
Oh, it's my favorite. It's so fun. And I think that's why I love this movie so much, is that I feel like it's the most I've ever gotten to fight as Chopper in one of the movies. I feel like usually he's kind of relegated a little bit to the sidelines, but not today, not this time. He's totally part of the action, and it's so much fun.
For sure. And Sonny, how would you feel if Soga King made a triumphant return to the anime?
Yeah, I also play Soga King as well as Usopp. It would be great to see that character make a return. I think that was the most genius moment of any anime I'd ever seen, that this guy reinvents himself as a superhero and has his own theme song playing in his head before he attacks. I mean, I would love for any chance to play that madness again. That is just amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
The wind carries my name.
I was hoping we would get a bit of that. I was fishing for that a little bit. And Ian, similarly, how often do you find yourself singing Bink Sake?
Honestly, more often than you'd think. It was a song that I was very nervous to do, because as soon as I got the part, people were like, "Oh, your voice sounds good. Don't mess up the laugh." And I went, "Okay, cool." And then they're like, "Oh, the laugh sounds good. Don't mess up the song." And I went, "Okay, cool." And then luckily I had Brina to help me with this, and I've had a wonderful group of people handhold me through the recordings, because I was very nervous that I wanted to make sure it was as good as humanly possible. And then once it's done, it's in me, and like on a good day I will find myself singing it. And it hit me the other day that there's a distinct possibility that at my funeral my parents will have to have it explained to them why someone's playing the sea shanty. It'll probably happen. That song is a part of my life for the rest of my life, and I'm thrilled. I love it. When you play it slow, it's all sad and mournful, but if you play it fast, it's a jaunty little tune, and it's so versatile, and I love it.
I don't know your parents, but I hope that they die before you.
I was actually going to say that too. I was like, for your parents' sake, I hope
that was the same response they had.
Ian, is there something you want to tell us?
Yeah, like why would you make that joke?
I figured this out during turbulence on the flight back from New York after New York Comic Con this year.
That you're gonna die before your parents?
And I was like, if this is it, probably pay sake in my funeral. Okay, fair enough.
That's amazing.
Oh no.
And Brina, you've performed the English versions of quite a few One Piece songs earlier in the seasons, like Bon Voyage and Memories and stuff. Have you ever thought about covering some of the newer stuff?
Yes, and I did. I don't think I'm supposed to talk about it, but I did.
Oh.
It's a good question because she's not allowed to self-promote.
Yeah.
But a little research out there, people, you can
You
find some
may
interesting
find
things.
something very recently that has come out.
Oh, there you go. And Sonny, Usopp and Krillin are pretty similar in that they might seem cowardly or weaker to others, but they're really brave when it comes to it. And I think they're stronger than the fan bases might think. But how do you go about making these performances so distinct from one another when they're kind of similar characters?
Well, there's a very distinct difference between Krillin and Usopp. A lot of people say it's the same voice, but Krillin talks like this, right? But Usopp talks like that with a hitch in his voice. And let me tell you, that hitch hurts. So I don't want anyone saying it's the same voice. It is not the same voice. It's a much more painful, involved voice. What?
You wish it was the same voice,
Sonny. I wish it was. And sometimes I just want to just do Krillin's voice instead of Usopp's voice and go, it's close enough. No, I can't allow that. I know how Usopp sounds to me, and he has that weird hitch in his voice.
See, we got to wait until there's an episode where like you're in some big battle and it just looks just enough like you're hitting the throat, and then we modify it just a little bit.
Yeah, and then from then on,
it's you.
Coast in Krillin's voice.
Like, oh,
but you're right. There are two characters who are really the definition of courage, being that it's not being not afraid, it's being afraid and doing what you got to do anyway to help your friends. And you're right, both those characters encapsulate that. They will be there when they need to be there, but they'd rather not be there.
Which is very human, I think. And my last question, Ian, Brook was the most recent crewmate for a long time, but Jinbei's taken that role now. What's it like to not be the new guy after over a decade?
That's a good question.
That is, you're the first to ask. I have to remind myself not to say that I'm the newest crew member in interviews. So that's, I think, the weirdest part. But past that, I can't wait to meet him. I want to meet him so badly because he's one of, we've been talking about how the Straw Hats feel like a family. Even we as the voice actors truly look at each other like we're family at this point. And we got this new family member that some of us just haven't met yet.
Yeah,
have you guys gotten to meet Daniel?
Mm-mm.
No, yeah. So we haven't gotten the opportunity to meet the actor. I can't wait to meet him. I can't wait to talk to him and officially give him a big old hug and say, welcome to the crew. I think
welcome to the family.
Right. And then get to watch as he goes through the first few years of being a part of a crew member out in the public. And that's a crazy time. And I want to be able to be there for him. And if you're watching this, holler. I can't wait to meet you. You're doing such a good job and you fit right in. And he's so powerful and so cool. Like, I love Jinbei.
Yeah, solid addition.
Awesome. Absolutely. That's all the time I have. Thank you all for doing this. It's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see more.
Thanks, Spencer.
Thank you, Spencer.
Great talking to you.